And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the USC Aiken Convocation Center, where it is deja vu all over again as the USC Aiken Pacers take on the Lander Bearcats after facing them in their home opener and unfortunately dropping their first game of the season. I'm Marcus Johnson, joined today by Allie Bell, and we'd like to thank you for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. Go ahead and give you the starters for today's game. On the Lander side, you have number 3, Jacoby Pearson, number 11... that's the USC Aiken one. Number 1, MJ Armstrong. Number 3, Jermaine Patterson. Number 10, Jawan Moore. Number 11, Dion Berrien. And number 12, Laraymond Spivry. On the USC Aiken side, number 3, Jacoby Pearson. Number 11, Gus Rowland. Darius Bell also getting the start today, number 14. Number 23, Yuri Castillo. And last but not least, number 24, Tyler Johnson for the Pacers gets the start. Lander starts things off with the ball to get things going here. Going up and drawing the foul is Jawan Moore. And while we have this little break, let's go ahead and get the keys to the game from Allie Bell.
Thank you, Marcus. And hello, Pacer Nation. So, based on last game, we kind of had too many turnovers, so I think today we should focus on having less turnovers. We should aim for a stronger defense in the paint today. Last game we got outscored 48-20 in the paint, so if we can pick that up, that'll be a good key. And also just keeping the foot on the gas the entire game. I think we had a really strong first half. We capitalized on turnovers, but we had a weaker second half. We scored 40 points in the first half and 26 in the second half. So if we can pick that up and keep it more consistent, that'll be great.
And Pacers definitely need to keep their foot on the gas and guard the paint. Lander are feasted in the paint, and USC Aiken trying to put a layup up to take the lead as Lander leads 1-0 after the free throw attempts from Jawan Moore. Taking a shot for 2 and making it is Dion Berrien. It's now a 3-0 lead for Lander here in the first. And shaking things up a little bit, though, is Coach Mark Vanderslice going with a couple of new starters. Again, Johnson and Darius Bell getting the nod to start. Castillo looks to get into the paint, pulls up, takes a shot. That one goes off the glass and into the waiting hands of Lander, who will bring it on down the other end. Tries to kick one out. Pass intercepted by the Pacers. Coming back the other way is Gus Rowland. Gives it to Johnson, who puts the layup in for 2.
That was a great capitalization on a turnover there. So we see that the rest of the game, that'll be great.
And that's what the Pacers were able to do in Game 1. The first half, they dominated on turnovers, getting out to a 10-point lead thanks to capitalizing. And, I mean, they did capitalize on turnovers, but Lander did the same to kind of counteract that.
Right.
Taking a shot. Going off the back of the rim. Rebound picked up by Castillo. Pacers will come away with it and bring it on back. And it looks like the Pacers are taking the advice we've given through the broadcast, guarding the paint a little bit more, not letting them just waltz in. Lander didn't take a whole lot of shots from the three-point arc, so you almost want to let them have those shots as a three-point basket goes in for number 23, Yuri Castillo. Also goes by AC in case you have trouble with that first name. The Pacers up 5-3 early minutes of the first half. Lander trying to get something going here. Ball is tipped but corralled by Patterson. Gives it on off. MJ Armstrong looking for an open lane. Tries to force his way in. Pulls back. Takes a shot. Castillo coming up with the rebound. Long pass ahead, and Darius Bell unable to keep that one in bounds. Looking to try to go for the alley-oop. A little less than perfect accuracy will give Lander the ball. Patterson will bring it up slowly. He's checked by Gus Rowland, one of the few returning players from last year. Almost a brand new Pacer team out there. Lander trying to get into the paint with the pass, kicks it back on out to the three-point arc, bobbles with it, and stolen away by Darius Bell. And now Rowland will bring it on up for the Pacers. Back to Rowland, who just passed it off. Now he'll direct traffic and give it to Bell, who gives it right back. Rowland dances around, pulls back near the free throw line, and makes it for 2.
I guess Rowland had a lot of that last season, so I'm loving to see it start carrying into this season, scoring so many points.
And he wasn't able to play in the first game, if I remember correctly. It's good to have him back in the back onto the hardwood for today's matchup. Could be the difference maker. Battle into the paint here as Berrien tries to get in. Can't get the layup away, and it's stolen away by Johnson. Passed up ahead for Bell. Passes to Castillo, who puts the layup in and draws the foul.
And like you mentioned, Marcus, we have almost an entire new team from last year, so I'm loving to see us gel and connect on these plays so early and having good teamwork that usually takes longer to get the kinks worked out.
And looking back at that first game, I mean, I can already see it's a world of difference. The chemistry automatically is looking better between all these guys. So they got the early season jitters out of their way in the first game, and hopefully it'll be smooth sailing as Castillo completes the three-point play. It is 10-3 with 16:26 to go in the first half. Patterson rolls the ball on into Spivry, trying to find his way in towards the basket, lays one up off the glass and in for two. Lander finally getting back on the board. Pacers quickly back on the attack. Here's a three-point try from Johnson, no good. Rebound corralled by Lander, who brings it back on the hands of Armstrong. Armstrong slowing up, trying to get around the defense, looking for a screen, passes it on off to the corner. Driving on in is Spivry. Spivry gets denied as that one sails out of bounds. It'll remain Lander basketball, but we have a media timeout coming up, so we'll take a break. It is 10-5, USC Aiken leading here in the first. And we are back in action. 15:49 to go in the first half. Pacers up 10-5. Some good solid play to start things off, capitalizing on some turnovers and holding off on turning the ball over themselves. So, again, so far so good. But they got to keep that up for the entire game. As Lander starts the timeout with 18 seconds on the shot clock. Quick inbound pass. Berrien looking for an open shot. He puts it up around the rim. No good. Rebound picked up by Gus Rowland, who brings it on back. Rowland using some speed. He kicks it out. Here comes a long shot for three. And making the three-point basket is number 15, Quincy Canty, who checked into the lineup after the timeout. Well, this is what the Pacers did, though, in the first half. They jumped out to an early lead. They capitalized on some good three-point accuracy, shooting over 30% from the three-point arc, which is always good no matter what you're doing.
Right.
Tried to pass it into the paint. That one deflected and taken over by Canty. Rowland will slow the pace a little bit, gives it to Castillo, who hands it right back. Rowland looking for a lane, drives in towards the paint, draws the foul on the shot, so we'll get a couple of free throws here from Gus Rowland. So Jermaine Patterson gets flagged with the foul, and we'll see Rowland go to the line now. The perfect free throw percentage is on the line here. Pacers 1 for 1 today. Well, there it goes.
You know, Ian and I had a saying last year that when you talk so great about our perfect stats,
it was the first free throw. I'm allowed to pass on that because I'm not expecting that to remain perfect.
No more of that, Marcus. No more.
Okay, now it's getting better.
Now it's your fault.
Okay, now I'll take full responsibility for that. Again, be sure to head to PacerSports.com for all of the live stats. We have a great stat team down there, and Brent Hager and Christine Carroll giving you the live stats for today's game, so be sure to follow along with that, along with the broadcast, to get the most out of this experience. Here comes a shot here from Landers, number 24, August Dave. He can't make it as it goes in and out, and the Pacers come away with the rebound. Gus Rowland trying to get an extra step in there, but the officials will call him on the travel, so Lander basketball. Patterson will bring it on up now, slowly but surely, checked by Rowland. Johnson providing some good coverage, pulls back, goes for three. No good, rebound, tipped by Johnson and into the hands of number 3 of the Pacers, Jacoby Pearson. Pearson trying to drive in towards the paint. He gets tripped up and ends up kicking the ball out of bounds, so it'll be Lander basketball. Well, DeMontez Oliver coming onto the court, and Johnson will take a step off.
DeMontez Oliver was also an exciting one to watch last season.
Rowland providing some good pressure on Patterson. As Patterson drives to the basket, we'll get a whistle. And it's going to be on Rowland, and we will have free throws on this one. And Patterson's first free throw is good, 13-6. And now we will see Pearson step off, and coming on is Terry Horn. Both free throws are good. Pacer lead cut down to 6. Rowland will bring it on up slowly for USC Aiken. Quick little handoff. Another handoff, this one going to Oliver, who tries to pass it in the paint, but that one's picked on its way by Patterson, who brings it on in. Kicks it out to August Dave. August Dave thinks about 3, holds back, passes it off. Patterson with it again. Gives it on off to Berrien. Berrien trying to get around Oliver. A little contact there, no call. Still some more contact. Battling for it, and stolen away by Castillo. Rowland passes to Oliver, gives it right back. Little passive hot potato kicked out to the far corner. Back on out to Castillo, who gives it right back on over to Canty. Now it's all the way back to Rowland, who slows things up with 12 seconds on the shot clock. 13 minutes to go in the first half. Castillo with the ball now. He's going to try for a long 3, and he drains it. Patience paid off there for the Pacer offense.
And I love to see us pass about 37 times, and then we finally just get a clear open shot.
Lander trying to work again in towards the paint. Oliver and Castillo holding it strong on defense, and they're going to force a turnover as it's kicked out of bounds by number 11, Dion Berrien. And Lander will make a substitution here. Number 15, Zane Rankin, will step on to the floor for the Bearcats, and it looks like Berrien will step off. Once again, Rowland will bring it up. He's flanked by Canty. Offense setting up. Castillo and Rowland playing back and forth again. Gets a screen from Castillo. Rowland tries to get to the paint, has the ball tipped. And they're going to say it went out of bounds off of a Pacer hand instead, so Lander basketball. Patterson tosses the ball to MJ Armstrong, who gives it away right back. Auguste from the corner. Gives it back to Armstrong. Whistle blows, and we're going to get a foul call here on Sebastian Auguste. And now the Pacers will come back with the ball. Castillo Trying to look for an open man. He finds Rowland. Long pass to the far corner. Horn dances around, puts a shot up, little awkward angle, and the rebound will be stolen away by Armstrong. Armstrong brings it back quickly, and they're going to get a call there, a charging foul. Gus Rowland draws the foul. Armstrong gets called for it, and we're going to get another timeout coming up here. 11:31 to go in the first half, and the Pacers find themselves ahead by 9. It is 16-7. We're back to the action. Deion Berrien checks back in for Lander. And Pacers up 16-7 with 11.5 to go. Pacers with the ball after the foul turnover. Rowland brings it up. Now Rowland picking up the speed. Shot from Canty for three, no good. Castillo tries to tip it back in. Ball ends up out of bounds. And they're going to say that went off of DeMontez Oliver, the Lander basketball. Patterson with the pass to Moorer, gives it right back. Driving in towards the basket, and he puts the shot up and in for two. And score now 16-9. Darius Bell about ready to check in for the Pacers, sits along the boards. Terry Horn gives it back to Rowland. Oliver thought he had a lane. He's going to try to drive in, passes it back on out. And they're going to say that didn't touch anybody on its way out. So, again, Lander basketball, and there's a few turnovers that the Pacers need to avoid. And now Bell comes on for Castillo as Lander brings it up. Augustive puts a shot up, and that one is good for three right at the top of the arc. And Lander pulls within four now. This is the exact problem the Pacers had in the last game. Early lead, and now Lander chipping away at it. Bell passes on in. Canty tries the layup, can't get it to go. And Lander comes up with the rebound. Berrien driving in, draws the foul. No, he doesn't draw a foul. He travels with it. The Pacers catching a break there. And Jalen Knight comes onto the court for the Pacers, taking the place of Gus Rowland. Knight will bring it up. Oliver out to Horn. Horn pauses, gives it to Bell. Bell gives it back to Oliver. Oliver steps back, tries for three, and puts it down. Another big three-point basket for the Pacers. Lander working outside the arc. Augustive hands it on off. Now working with it is Moore. Gives it on off to Berrien, who puts a layup up and in for two. Pacers come back the other way. Canty gives it to Bell. Bell thinks about handing it off. He'll keep it instead, gives it to Oliver. And a foul going to be called here on the Pacers, and looks like Darius Bell is going to get called for a foul on that one. His second foul of the afternoon. Patterson moving towards the corner, gives it on off. Robinson looking for three. It's going to go off the front of the rim, and Oliver coming up with the rebound. Montez Oliver will bring it up. Gives it to Horn, who's going to try for a long three. No good. Rebound picked up by Oliver. Lander steals it away, but stepping out of bounds was Moorer just as he stole it. The Pacers catching a break. They almost have a full shot clock at 18 seconds. Horn gives it on out to Knight. Knight back to Horn. Horn for three, and Horn puts one down.
He got a chance to redeem himself on that one.
It had almost beneficial by him having the ball stripped because he had a little bit of an off-balance play there too. So may as well give it to Lander to go out of bounds with. The Pacers up now 22-14, and a whistle here, and it looks like the Pacers going to get called on a foul. Quincy Canty will be charged. Foul on the floor, however, 4 fouls apiece for both squads. And substitution happening now for the Pacers. Canty will step off, and we'll have Pearson step back on. And Pearson really heated up at the end of the game the other day, Wednesday. Almost got the Pacers to come back as he really turned on the afterburners. 3-point try here from Augustive, and he puts it in for the 3-point basket, and that will draw a timeout from USC Aiken, a 60-second timeout, and we'll take a break. Be right back. Back to it. 8:26 to go in the first half. Approaching immediate timeout after a full timeout was just taken. 22-17 is your score. USC Aiken leading the Bearcats of Lander here in the first. Oliver will inbound it to Knight, who brings it on up. Castillo with the ball. Castillo's going to try for three. That's going to come up short. Rebound picked up, though. And the shot waved off of the hands. Well, it's Donovan Hairston. He's wearing number 30, although on the score sheet he's number 32. You can thank the live stats for that one. I was lost on that last play. 3-point try here from Lander. Sidney Robinson is no good, and Hairston will take it over. Hairston to Oliver. Back to Castillo now, who will give it to Pearson. Pearson dancing around the top of the arc, trying to drive into the paint, and his layup try no good. Picked up by Castillo, and Castillo will draw the foul, and we're going to get a couple of shots here from Anyuri Castillo. A foul was on Sidney Robinson. First shot from Castillo is good, adding another point to the Pacer lead, 23-17. And Canty will check back in for USC Aiken. Oliver stepping off. And Castillo 2 for 2 on the try. 24-17 now, Lander bringing it back. Out to Augustiv, and the tip on the pass is stolen away by Pearson, who brings it on in, pulls back up, looking for Castillo, and the layup no good. Couldn't go. Good defense from Lander. Augustiv with it. Gets it into the paint. Now trying to go for an opening is Moore, and he is denied by Castillo.
Yeah, we're definitely playing great defense right now, Marcus, I'll say, but I wish that we were capitalizing on our good defensive plays as well, you know?
Well, good defense on both sides of the ball today. Both Lander and USC Aiken coming up with big defensive stops right underneath the basket. Lander with the ball, however, a 20-second shot clock. Good inbound pass. Looking for three, and no good. The shot would not go as the rebound is picked up by Hairston. Rankin trying to get a three-point shot from the top of the arc, couldn't get it. Rowland with the ball now. Hairston with it again. Castillo holding it now. And he'll give it right back to Rowland. Castillo setting up a screen. Rowland spinning move. Puts a shot up and puts it in! And to add insult to injury, he's able to draw a foul, so he will go to the line for a three-point play. Dion Berrien shoving Gus Rowland to the ground, who would not be denied the 2 points. And now he'll have a shot at three. Rowland's try is good, and it's 27-17 with 6.5 to go in the first. Ball stolen away by Hairston. He just picked the pocket of Berrien. Almost had his pocket pick. Rowland bails him out. Hairston with the ball again. He's checked by two, though, and he'll bring it on back to slow things down. Castillo with the ball, giving it back to Hairston. Hairston looking for a screen, gets it, runs into some more trouble, steps back, drives in, puts a shot up. No good. Rebound picked on up by Berrien. Patterson looks for the layup. He puts it underneath the basket. Picked up by the Pacers on the rebound. Rowland now moving in. Near the line, back out to Hairston. Corner try for three is no good. Rebound, Dion Berrien of Lander. Trying to drive on in. We'll get a foul call here. It looks like Knight's going to get, or not Knight, Canty will get called for the foul. Spivey and Armstrong back onto the court for Lander. Pacers look like they may want to make a substitution as well. As Jalen McCoy hops on out to the court, taking the place of Quincy Canty. Spivey with it. Hands the ball on off to Robinson. Robinson getting pressured by the defense, trying to get around, but the Pacers won't let him through. Intercepted the pass. Coming right on and making an impact is McCoy. And now Rowland with the ball as the Pacers are on offense. Rowland trying for three. Shot no good. Rebound is tipped out of bounds off the hands of Tyler Johnson. And DeJuan Moore will come back on for Lander. Robinson steps off. Lander on the attack now. Zane Rankin. Bounce pass into the paint. Lander trying to get some open real estate. Can't seem to find any, though, as Armstrong will try to drive in now. Sends it back out to the arc. Again, driving into the paint. Pass is broken up, and a whistle here Looks like a foul going to be called on Landers Berrien. That'll bring Augustive back out. Berrien will head to the bench now for Lander. Pacers with the ball again, 4:40 to go in the first half. Pearson passes it on off. McCoy putting a shot up. That goes off the glass. Rebound picked up by Castillo, who puts it down and in for two. Castillo really stepping up his rebound game, getting under the basket when they need him most, and that's big after the departure of the big man, Rob Hill, from last year.
For sure. We can always count on Rob to get those defensive plays in.
And a foul coming up here on the Pacers. Jermaine Patterson, foul on the floor, but that will put, or no, it will not put Lander in the bonus just yet. They're one away from the bonus. So a free foul for USC Aiken there. Lander in the far corner. Rankin trying to move the ball around. Augustive with it now. Dances around, moves towards the paint, back out to past the arc. Rankin gives it right back to Augustive. Augustive puts a shot up as the buzzer goes and makes it for three, and it is a 29-20 game. Rowland driving into the paint. And they're going to call that a jump ball. Rowland able to make the basket, but that's not going to count, unfortunately. And the under 4-minute media timeout gets underway. We will be taking a short break. 29-20 your score. Now we'll get back to it. Marcus Johnson alongside Allie Bell here again, thanking you for joining us on your Saturday afternoon as we approach the evening hours. Sun setting way too early this time of year.
I agree. It'll be 5 o'clock. You know, you're getting out of work and it's already pitch black dark.
Yeah, that's probably how it's going to be for us today. Because it's 4 o'clock now, and I guarantee you this game won't be over until at least 5.
Gotta love daylight savings.
Well, I mean, it helps to have that extra hour of sleep, but then when it comes back around...
but when spring hits, it's not going to be fun.
No fun, no fun. Play getting back underway with Castillo going for a shot, and he puts one in for 2 more points. Pacers back out to double-digit lead again. Augustive hands the ball back on off. Moorer trying for something, can't get it. Rebound picked up by Lander, but a foul called here will stop play. And I think it's going to be on Tyler Johnson of the Pacers. So now Lander's in the bonus. 7 fouls apiece for both squads here in the first half. Spivey will go to the line for one of the bonus, and he makes the first one, so he'll get a crack at a second one. Second free throw is good, and the lead cut back to 9, 31-22. Gus Rowland with the ball. He's flanked by DeMontez Oliver. Castillo takes the ball now, giving it on out to Johnson. Johnson pulls back for Castillo, who gives it right to Rowland. Rowland, long pass to the far corner there. Pearson with the ball, trying to find an open lane, kicks it back on out to Rowland. Rowland driving in, back to Castillo, out to Oliver. Oliver for three, and it's no good, off the rim and out of bounds.
I would have loved to see that play work out, Marcus.
I was hyping it up as every second there, but sometimes it doesn't work out on the court as it does in your head. Lander taking over now, 2:45 to go in the first half. Patterson driving into the basket, but he runs into a horde of Pacers, draws a foul, but is unable to really get a shot, much of a shot off. Although Patterson really good on the free throw for Lander. He's 8 of 9 on the season after just 2 games, almost perfect. We'll see what he does here with a couple of tries. First free throw is good, 31-23. And both attempts are good. 31-24 your score as Pearson comes onto the court for the Pacers and Tyler Johnson will head to the bench. Rowland again flanked by Oliver as he brings it up. Hands it off to Oliver, who gives it to Horn. Terry Horn looking for an open man in Rowland. Goes to Rowland trying to find a lane, moves into a little bit of paint, pulls back, puts a shot up. That bounces around, and the rebound corralled by Spivey. Patterson passes in the paint, pass deflected, but picked back up by Moore, who kicks it on out. Augustive with a long three-point try, in and out of the basket, rebound, battled for, and it's going to be blown dead as Pearson lay on the ground with the ball. And it looks like Lander's going to get called for a foul on this one, and we'll get a 1-and-1 for USC Aiken.
That's his first as the team's Aiken. Going to the line to shoot one in the bonus for the Pacers is number 3, Jacoby Pearson.
So Pearson will head to the line now for USC Aiken. Chance for 1 in the bonus. Shot is up, and it's good. And both tries are good, and the Pacers up 33-24 now. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Patterson will bring it up for Lander. Pacers guarding the paint very effectively. Augustive trying to find an opening. He can't. Passes it in for Pearson, who tries an awkward layup. Can't get it to go. And they're going to say that that one is out of bounds on the Pacers, which draws a reaction from the bench and the limited capacity crowd. But after a quick conference between officials, they switch the call around to say Pacer ball.
We love our loyal fans here at USC Aiken.
They do get vocal when they need to be.
We're all big One Protective family around here.
That is the truth, and coming from a student athlete, you sure know that, don't you? Castillo looking for a long three, and Castillo drains one for 3. Another 3-point basket for Castillo. Pacers feasting on that 3-point line. Patterson trying to battle in. Rowland picks his pocket, but then he ends up kicking the ball out of bounds. Got the steal, and then nothing to it.
A little too excited on it, but I will say he's been doing a great job of picking off balls this whole game, so we'll take one little mishap.
Bounce pass to inbounded. Augustive out to the 3-point line, almost unchecked, and making the 3-point play is LaRaymond Spivey to counter the Pacers' previous 3. Under a minute to go in the first half. Rowland with the ball. Roland going to take his time, burn off some of that clock a little bit. Castillo now getting double team, passes it on out to Horn, who gives it right back. Castillo looking for three, and it comes up short, but Castillo able to draw the foul, and he will get 3 shots at the charity stripe. Now, 34.9 seconds to go. Pacers a chance to get back the double-digit lead here as Castillo will have 3 tries from the stripe. And he makes the first one, 37-27. And he's 2 for 2 on this trip. And Knight will come back on. Roland will step off for USC Aiken. Castillo's 3rd shot coming up. And after a little bit of a delay, it goes in. 3 for 3 on that trip.
The suspense is killing me on that one, Marcus.
So Castillo coming up big with the free throws, and we'll get a timeout here from Lander. 30.4 seconds to go, and the Pacers lead it by 12 in the first half. Back to the action with only 30.4 seconds to go in the first half. Pacers up by 12, 39-27 your score. Lander, who called the timeout, will have the ball. And they get things underway. They're just going to kill the clock with only 21 seconds. Actually, only 4 seconds differentiating the shot clock and the play clock. Or in the game clock, I should say, not the play clock. Shot clock, play clock, same thing.
We're following.
Working with it now is Moore. He's looking for an open man. Augusta comes up with it, goes for 3, and that one no good. Rebound is battled for, and they're going to blow it dead, and Lander basketball is the call with 2.6 seconds to go. Going to have to be a quick inbound and quick release. And here they go. Inbound is in. Shot is blocked by Castillo. And that will close out the first half. A good defensive shot. As DeMontes Oliver, well after the buzzer, almost made it from his own free throw line.
I was impressed he hit the rim that distance.
I've seen it once. Christian Nobles did it to close out a half, and this place went wild.
Wow. Yeah.
It was truly
DeMontes
awesome.
Oliver, he literally shot that from his hometown of Richmond, Virginia.
But the Pacers close out half number 1, 39-27. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, or actually we'll be back a few minutes before the second half starts to give you your first half stats. But stick around, second half coming up in just a few minutes. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're a few minutes away from the start of the second half, so we'll go ahead and give you those first half statistics. All can be found on Pacersports.com under the basketball tab. But we'll go ahead and give it to you right now. 39-27 is your score before we get to the second half. Pacers shooting 12 of 29 from the field for a 41.4 shooting percentage. Out-shooting Lander, who was 8 of 25 from the field at a 32.0 percentage. The three-point arc has been good to the Pacers. They're 6 of 13 for a 46.2% shooting percentage. Lander doing all right from the three-point line, but they've been shut down in the paint pretty much. Shooting 4 of 9 for 44.4%. And at the charity stripe, Lander 7 of 8. USC Aiken 9 for 11.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he got a double-double this game.
A very good chance of that, and I mean he's shooting 60% from the field, which is unheard of for that many attempts.
Right.
Although it's only the first half, he's got a chance to get a few more points on the board, possibly hit 30. You never know. It's possible. He's only 9 away, but yeah, that double-double is very possible, especially when he camps out underneath the basket. But we are only 3 seconds away from the horn sounding the start of the second half. Pacers leading 39-27. I am Marcus Johnson. That is Allie Bell. Thank you for joining us.
Yes,
here
thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday afternoon.
You hijacked my line.
I'm sorry.
You
I
hijacked
thought you were
my
done.
line. You hijacked it.
I'm sorry.
You have ruined everything.
You can start over.
No,
I
it's
wanna hear the
finished.
line.
It's finished. We'll go ahead and start things off. Lander with the ball to get things going here in the second half. And immediately the ball is stolen away. The Pacers bringing it back. The layup is up and in for Jacoby Pearson. And right out the gate, the Pacers making it known that they are ready to play again. Lander will try to set up once again. Moore with the ball. Darius Bell checking him, getting in towards the paint. Shot is up, tipped back. Rebound will be picked up by Darius Bell. Gus Rowland on the move now. He drives in towards the paint, puts his shot up, off the glass and in for two. Well, Pacers off to a quick 4-point run.
And along with one of our notes being we wanted them to keep on the gas the whole game. That's a great start to the second half. You know, that's all we can ask for at this point.
Well, in order to keep on the gas, you got to come out and score in the first half, or in the second half, and that's what they're doing. Lander coming up with a couple of points, though, as Berrien scores. Pacers immediately on the attack. Back on out to Rowland. Rowland charging in, bounces it back on out to Castillo for three. Bounces in the air. Rebound is picked up by Landers Patterson. Patterson driving in towards the basket, and he's able to get a layoff up. And he gets Lander past the 30-point mark with a 43-31 score. Castillo passes to Bell. Bell looking for an open man. He finds Castillo again. Castillo thinks about three, has his pass broken up, and it's stolen away by Lander. Lander back the other way, and now Lander's turn to start capitalizing on turnovers. And that is going to draw a timeout from head coach Mark Vanderslice before anybody starts any type of run on the Lander side. But it's 43-33 with 18:11 to go in the second half. We'll be back in a minute. And we are back. Pacers still holding on to a 10-point lead early on here in the second half. USC Aiken will get the ball fresh out of the timeout. Castillo will inbound it. Rowland bringing it on up now for the Pacers. Rowland driving in towards the basket, puts a shot up. He's able to draw the foul at the same time. No basket, but we should get some throws at the charity stripe as Moore gets tabbed for a foul.
That's the second. It's the first team foul this half. At the line, shooting two, number 11, Gus Rowland.
First shot from Rowland is just a bit short. The score stays put. Augusta checking back in for Lander as Moore steps off. Second try is good from Rowland, and that makes it 44-33 and an 11-point lead for USC Aiken. Lander bringing it up. Berrien finds an open man in Augusta. Back to Berrien. Berrien driving in towards the paint. Runs into Darius Bell, but they're going to call the foul on Bell instead. Basket was good, so a three-point play coming up.
Basket is good. Foul is on number 14, Darius Bell. His third, the team's first this half.
So Berrien will go to the line for the three-point play.
Three-point play.
And the shot is good, so the score 44-36 now. Pacers making some substitutions. Bell will step off, and Canty will step on in his place. Rowland trotting up the court. Hands to Castillo, who gives it back, but Rowland is going to get called for a travel. And so Lander takes over on the turnover. Bringing it up is Patterson. Jermaine Patterson looking for an open man. He gives it to Berrien. Now Berrien getting a screen, but he's going to have to hold up and give it back to Patterson. Patterson checked by Canty, gets in and drives in hard towards the basket to score 2 on the layup. And Lander chipping away at the Pacer lead, which is now cut to 6. Pearson with the ball, dances around, gives it to Canty, who gives it on out for Johnson. Johnson looking for 3, and Johnson sparks a little life into the offense as he makes a 3-point basket. Driving in again towards the basket. This time is Berrien. Rebound picked up. Augustive with it. He's trying to get back in, but he's checked by Rowland. Patterson now slows things up, looks for a screen, ends up getting blocked by his own man. Now he can drive in towards the basket. Pacers putting up some strong D, but once again, Jermaine Patterson able to fight into the basket. Now Pacers are going to have to close that off in a minute because that it seems to be Patterson's bread and butter. As we have a long 3-point try, no good. Ball rolling out of bounds, and it will be Lander basketball. Lander slowly bringing it up. Berrien with it now. He's driving into the paint, puts his shot up. This time it's no good, and Castillo comes up with the rebound. Rowland bringing it back quickly, gives it to Pearson. Pearson into the paint, puts his shot up, and no good. It just wouldn't go as it rolled around the rim. And it's going to be a carry called on Augustive. And the Pacers will take advantage of that turnover as soon as we come back from another media timeout. 47-40 your score with 15:50 to go. Demontes Oliver and Terry Horn checking in for USC Aiken as we come in from the timeout. Pacers still leading by 7 as Lander has gone on a 13-8 run here in the first few minutes of the second half. Pacers with the ball, however, fresh out of the timeout. And Rowland moving on into the paint. Back on out to Oliver. Oliver looking for 3, and Oliver will get it to go around the rim and in for 3. Lead is back to 10 for USC Aiken. Spivey moving up. Gives it back to Berrien. Berrien moving on in. Checked by Oliver. Kicked on out to Armstrong, whose 3-point try is no good. Rebound corralled by the Bearcats, however. Augustive with it. Armstrong, long pass on out for Patterson. Patterson hands it on off. And again, Berrien with it. Berrien moving on in, tries to get around Demontes Oliver, but will get called for a travel instead, and it will be Pacer basketball. Gus Rowland taking his time. He'll find his open man in Pearson. Pearson gives it out to Oliver, who bounces it in for Castillo. Castillo's try is no good. Rebound is snagged by Patterson, who brings it back for Lander. Patterson slows up, thinking about three, going for three, and making it for three. Rowland again will bring it up slowly. Rowland gives it on off to Pearson. Pearson back to Castillo. Castillo gives it to Rowland now. Rowland thinking about a lane, goes back, pulls up, goes for three, bounces into the air and behind the basket instead. And it will be Lander basketball. Now it's Patterson's turn to bring it up slowly as Rowland watches him closely. Quick pass off to Armstrong. Armstrong gives it to Berrien. Berrien looks for an opening, hands it to Armstrong. Armstrong trying to go for a layup, try no good, and coming away with the ball is on Yuri Castillo. Pearson with it now, who backs off for just a second, though, giving it to Castillo. Castillo looks for Oliver. Oliver gets it, but the ball is snatched out of his hand and driven out of bounds, so it will stay Pacer basketball with 19 seconds left on the shot clock. Quick inbound pass, Castillo with it. Castillo tries to drive into the basket, gives it back to Pearson. Pearson looking to get around some defenders, passes back on out to Horn, who gives it to Oliver. Oliver unchecked for three, no good, and the rebound stolen back by Patterson. Patterson back the other way. Patterson driving to the basket. Patterson's shot is up, it's no good, no fouls on the play, and Oliver comes down with it. Rowland back to Oliver. Oliver to Horn. Horn unchecked by everybody, but he can't get it to go on the three-point try. Gustav slows things down and lets his team catch up as they set up offensively on the Bearcat end. Berrien driving into the basket. Rebound picked up by Horn. Horn dives on top of the ball and rolls it back to Rowland. Rowland moving on in. Passes back on out. Pearson unchecked this time, and Pearson drains a three-pointer. Lander back with the basketball. It's 53-43 with 12:36 to go in the second half. Pacers not looking as sharp as they did in the first half, but they're doing well to play as Patterson drives over Rowland and puts a basket down. And a foul called here. It looks like it's going to be called on Gus Rowland. Happened on the floor and after the play, so I think. Well, regardless, it's Pacer basketball after the Lander two-point play. Rowland will bring it up slowly. Oliver with it now. Fakes a pass, gives it to Darius Bell, who's checked into the game again. Bell can't find an open man. In fact, he just hands it off to Horn. Now Horn is going to dance around, trying to shake off Augustev, and a foul is called on Augustev. So ball remains in Pacer possession. And they'll have a 20-second shot clock with 12:05. Gus Rowland gets the inbound pass, and now he'll let things set up. Drives in towards the basket, in the paint, puts a shot up, no good, gets his own rebound, and he'll try to escape pressure and does. And now the Pacers can set up again offensively. Darius Bell with the ball now near the charity stripe. Now he's getting pressured by a double team, and now he gives it to Rowland. Rowland dancing around just outside the arc, drives on in a little bit, pulls back, bounces it in. Darius Bell picks it up. 1 second on the shot clock, shot just gets off. But Patterson comes down with the rebound for Lander. Patterson in towards the basket, and he puts a layup up and in for two. Gus Rowland again with the ball. Rowland gives it to Oliver. Oliver holding up, passes for Bell. Bell giving it to Horn. Horn looking for three, and Horn puts it in for three. Well, some back and forth play from both sides as Pacers are playing a bit of a slow game with Lander giving the ball to Jermaine Patterson, who's just been driving into the basket and has been coming away with points lately.
Yeah, and I don't really mind the slow game this half, Marcus. I think that with averaging about a 10-point lead here and there, I think that we're in a comfortable spot, but not a complacent spot. As long as we score right after they score, then we win the game. So
and it helps when you drain the clock with these long possessions,
right,
but you're still scoring at the end of it. As Roland looks for a three-point basket, no good. Rebound picked up by Armstrong.
And it also saves up some energy, too, for the last, 10 and 5 minutes of the game, too, to finish strong. So I'm liking how we're playing right now.
A foul called on the play, and we're going to get a timeout, a little bit of a break here. Foul was on Jacoby Pearson, and with 10.5 to go, we're going to take a bit of a break on a media timeout. 56-47, your score going into the break. And back to the action we go. Lander with the ball, trailing 56-47. And the 5-second delay, the 5-second timer is up. The Pacers will get the ball on the turnover. Good defense by the Pacers to cover everybody out there on the court. Gus Rowland moving on up. Gives it to Terry Horn. Terry Horn dekes a man out of his own shoes, gives it to Bell. Rowland with the ball, driving in towards the basket, passes out to Oliver. Now it's Oliver's turn to drive in, puts his shot up, no good, but he draws a foul on the play, and he should be going to the line for a couple of tries. Berrien getting flagged for the foul, his third of the afternoon. And indeed, DeMontez Oliver will head to the charity stripe for a couple of freebies. First try from Oliver, rolls around the rim and out. Score stays the same. Robinson and Staggs will head into the game for the Bearcats as substitutions. And the second try from Oliver is good, so the Pacers back up by 10, 57-47. Halfway through the second half, Pacers only being outplayed by 2 points so far in the half by Lander, but they're leading by 10, so that gives them a little bit of breathing room. Bearcats battling in towards the basket. Shot is up, rebound battled for, but stolen away by Staggs. Another try, Staggs at the three-point line. Berrien with the ball now, gets his pocket picked by Horn. Horn coming back the other way. He loses control, and it's stolen back by Augustive. Out as Robinson tries for three. It is no good, but he gets his own rebound as it goes right back to him. Little battle against Rowland. Officials will just let him play it out as Berrien takes the ball. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Oliver runs into the screen, back on out for Robinson. Robinson will try for three. That goes off the rim and is no good, and brought back by Tyler Johnson the other way. Johnson to Oliver. Oliver looking for another open man, gives it to Roland, who's now going to let everybody set up.
In addition to our slower paced game too, right now we're playing really aggressive but super clean defense, which also helps with not giving them any free throw opportunities.
Only 3 fouls on both ends, actually, through this point of the second half. And Darius Bell goes up and comes away with 2 points. Pacers get a little extra breathing room, up 59-47. Patterson trying to get around to Montez Oliver. Oliver with him all the way, shot going in. And again, Patterson able to fight through the defense to get the layup to go through for 2. Long pass to Johnson, who's all alone in the corner. And Tyler Johnson coming up with 3 more points to answer right back. And a call of timeout here as Sidney Robinson makes the call on the floor. And with 8:03 to go, the Pacers up 62-49. We're off to another media timeout, and we will be back in 60 seconds. Well, Jalen Knight out on the court for the Pacers. My microphone keeps rotating on me. It's driving me nuts. I get it in the break for the perfect spot, and then every break it shifts on me. So hopefully I can fix that. But we're back.
Territory.
I'm used to it by now.
Yeah.
5 years of doing this, it's going to happen. Augustive with the ball now for Lander. He's going to give it to Armstrong, who gives it to Patterson. Patterson looking for 3, and he makes it. And the lead is back to 10 for USC Aiken. Montez Oliver with it. He'll give it to Bell, who gives it right back. Oliver out to the three-point line to Horn, who gives it to Tyler Johnson. Johnson gets it now to Bell. Bell looking to drive on in. He does. Tries a shot. He's denied. And the free ball is picked up by Augustive of Lander. Patterson again driving into the basket and making it. Long pass on up for Horn. Horn dekes a couple of guys out. Now he basically lets the Pacers pass it around. Johnson coming up with 3 as he gets knocked down and makes it.
He's been killing those corner threes over there.
And they're going to tab Johnson for a technical. I think they're going to call him for a flop. Well, they're going to call him a flop, but I mean, there was a little bit of contact there. Maybe he tried to sell it a little bit, but I don't know. We'll leave the call to the officials on this one, as Patterson will try for a couple at the free throw line.
Words are hard.
Words are hard, numbers are hard, it's all very hard. Well, the basket was good, so the score is 65-55. Pacers still up by 10. Patterson will move on in. Checked by Knight. A little bit of contact there. No call. Lander keeps the ball, and they end up rolling it all the way back, and a backcourt violation will be called on the Bearcats. I don't think the Pacers had to do anything defensively. That was just an errant pass.
But hey, we'll take it.
Never look a gift horse in the mouth, as they say.
And substituting is number 12, Laraymond Spivey.
Spivey back out there. Laraymond Spivey stepping onto the court, and it looks like he's going to take the place of Zane Rankin, who heads to the bench. Montez Oliver will inbound it. And Jalen Knight will bring it on in. Knight gets a little bit of a screen, pulls back now. Driving into the paint, Knight checks it back out to Oliver. Oliver looking for three, and that one won't go. And it looks like the Pacers are going to get called on a foul, and it's going to be Castillo. Castillo trying to fight for the rebound. Yeah, Castillo 2 rebounds away from that double-double. Berrien with the ball now. He just bounces it to Armstrong. Armstrong trying to find an open man. Just gives it back to Berrien. Berrien trying to move into the paint. Passes it on in for Armstrong, who was all alone and was able to reach up and just drop it in for 2. Battle for it under the basket as Knight is unable to come away with points, and Lander comes away with the ball. Augustive tries to pass it on in, and the ball rolls off of a Pacer and out of bounds. It'll stay Lander ball. Pearson and Rowland checking back in. Horn and Knight stepping off. Long pass on out on the inbound. Berrien gets it. Driving into the basket. And he's able to get around Oliver and gets it off the backboard and in for 2. Pass ahead. Pearson gives it to Castillo. Castillo trying to get around. Able to put a shot up, and that one not in. Oliver picks up the rebound, and his shot is denied, but he draws a foul, and will go to the line for 2.
The foul was on number 1, MJ Armstrong. That's his
MJ Armstrong getting his second foul of the afternoon. Oliver will go to the line for the second time today. He's 1 of 2. And the first shot from Oliver bounces around a little bit, but eventually goes down for a point. It's 66-59. Second try is good as well, 67-59, as Oliver makes good on both of his free throws. 5:37 to go in the second half. Pacers still holding on to a solid lead as Lander is trying to cut away with it with a three-point try. No good. Rebound picked up by Rowland, who brings it back the other way. Rowland moving quickly now, dancing into the paint, puts a shot up and in! Hoop and a harm for Gus Rowland.
That's at least his 3rd one for the day, right?
3rd or 4th, I don't know, but he's coming up big when he needs to. Gus Rowland has entered the double-digit mark for points. He's got 10 so far, and he will go to the line to get his 11th point if he can make it. And Rowland's basket is good, and the three-point play is complete. 70-59, your score. Patterson will bring it up for Lander. He finds Berrien. Berrien just gives it off to Spivey. Spivey giving it right back to Berrien. Berrien arcs it on in. Armstrong trying to kick it out to the three-point line, but that's broken up by the Pacer D. Rowland driving in hard. Oliver with plenty of time, and he makes it for 3.
That was so pretty.
Just like they drew it up in practice. And that will draw a timeout from the Lander bench. 73-59, your score. Pacers leading the Bearcats with 4:50 to go in regulation. We'll be back in a bit. to basketball action. 4:50 to go in regulation. Pacers with a solid 73-59 lead over the Lander Bearcats in their second game of the season of this very wonky 2020-2021 basketball season.
I've never seen the Convocation Center this empty. Even during volleyball games, I've never seen it this empty.
Only times I've seen it this empty is when it's closed.
Right. Or practice.
Or practice. That's fair. That's fair. We'll call practice because, you got the guys on the court. Lander with the basketball out of the timeout. Patterson drives to the basket, draws the foul. And we'll see who gets called. DeMontez Oliver getting called for the foul. So Patterson will go to the line for a couple of freebies. And Patterson is good on his first try, 73-60. And the second try is also good, 73-61. Pacer lead cut to 12. Rowland will bring it up for USC Aiken. Rowland gives it to Castillo. Castillo to Pearson, back to Rowland. Rowland shuffling in towards the basket, turns and fires a shot up, and it bounces in. A couple bounces on the back end of the backboard, and it goes in for the Pacers. Long three-point try here from Staggs. That one no good. Rebound is fought for and won by Lander. They'll get a fresh shot clock. And a charging call on Dion Berrien as he plowed over DeMontez Oliver. And the Pacers will get the ball on the foul turnover. And Berrien with his fourth foul, so he's in dangerous territory now. Oliver will bring the, or not Oliver, Rowland will bring it up, flanked by Oliver. Rowland taking his time. He'll give it to Pearson. Pearson to Castillo. Castillo fakes him out, tries to drive on in a little bit now. Does, turns, puts a shot up. No good. Rebound fought for and out of bounds. It will be Lander basketball. And the final media timeout sounds on the horn. We will be back in just a little bit with 3.5 to go. It is 75-61 USC Aiken. And we'll get right back to it. Lander is all ready to go. Pacers taking a little bit of extra time to come out of their corner. Pacers up by 14 late in the second half. Trying to avenge their loss in game 1 of the regular season. Lander trying to keep from going back to under 500 as Patterson tries to drive in. And he's going to get called for a charge. I'll be fair, that was a little bit of a generous call there, but Well, it goes the Pacers' way, and they'll take over possession.
Again, we'll take it.
Oliver gets it in to Rowland, and Lander playing the press now. Not much of a choice with the deficit they face. Pacers need to get it on in. Ball picked out of the hands of Rowland by Augustive, and he goes for the layup. No good. Rebound, battled for, and Patterson is fouled. I believe they're going to get Pearson on that one. Nope. They're going to get Johnson on that one. So Johnson with his third foul of the day, I believe. Oh, his fourth foul of the day. So Johnson in dangerous territory as Patterson is at the line, and Patterson misses for the first time today. So MJ Armstrong back onto the court now for the Bearcats, as Patterson will try again. And Patterson is good on his second try, and the score 75-62. Oliver inbounds it quickly to Rowland, and now Rowland will bring it up. Checked by two. Rowland passes that on up. Pearson's pass is into Castillo. Castillo giving it right back to him, letting the Pacers set up offensively. And really pressuring the Pacer offense now as Johnson drives on in a little bit. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Rowland going to have to get on in quickly. Kicks it back on out to Pearson. Pearson for three, and Pearson puts it in.
That was a beautiful play.
That's the problem with that aggressive style of defense. Sure, it keeps your opponent on the guard, but it also tends to open up a lot of lanes.
Right.
Patterson looking for a three-point try. No good as DeMontez Oliver goes up and gets the rebound. Oliver dancing around, giving it up to Pearson. Pearson checked by two, just gives it back to Rowland, and they're going to call that one a jump ball. Looks like it's going to be Lander basketball now. Rowland took a little bit of too much time trying to get around the defenders. 2:07 to go in regulation. So they'll give it to the Pacers on the jump ball. Just a little mix-up of where who had the ball last. Rolling with the ball deep in his own end. The Pacers will try to bring it on up. Now Oliver gets it, and a foul will be called here. As Augustive reached on in on Oliver, so Pacers will go to the line for one to a bonus. 8th foul on the half for Lander. Pacers still only sitting at 5 fouls, though. Very good, very disciplined play, but then again, they haven't really needed to draw too many fouls with the double-digit lead they've been holding.
Agreed.
And Oliver's try is no good, so Lander takes over. Under 2 minutes to play now as Patterson drives in, and a blocking foul will be called on Gus Rowland. And that will send Patterson to the line. Now Patterson missed for the first time today in his last trip up there. We'll see what happens this time. And he makes his first one, 78-63. And both tries are good, 78-64. Pacer lead is 14. Oliver looking for an open man, and he finds it in Pearson. Jacoby Pearson running on down the court, just past the half-court mark. Checked by two, and timeout called by the Pacer bench before a turnover can happen. So we're going to take a short break. $1:47 to go in regulation. The Pacers still lead by 14. Just a short break, but we are right back anyway. Pacers with the ball fresh out of the timeout. 23 seconds on the shot clock. Long passes all the way back into the Pacer end for Rowland. And a foul called here. That's going to be on Patterson. Patterson's third foul of the afternoon and the 9th foul for Lander this half. Gus Rowland will head to the line now. And his first shot is good after a couple bounces. Second shot is no good. Augustive comes off with the rebound. Driving on in hard. Berrien goes for the layup and makes it. And a foul called here on the Pacers. So Berrien will have a chance at a three-point play. Pearson getting tabbed for the foul, his third on the afternoon. Terry Horn will come onto the court now for USC Aiken as Tyler Johnson steps off. And the three-point play is complete as Berrien makes his throw. And the score now 79-67. Oliver with the pass on out to Rowland. Rowland speeding down the court. Pulls back for a moment. Trying to shake off three defenders, and he's able to do it almost with ease. And he'll hand it on off to Pearson. Pearson trying to get around two defenders this time. He'll give it to Oliver. Oliver, long pass on off for Terry Horn. Terry Horn just takes a moment to collect himself. Looks for Castillo. Castillo driving into the basket, and he puts it in. Well, believe it or not, those were Castillo's first points this half. He had been held scoreless.
Oh, wow. I guess you're right, man.
But he's able to come up with a couple of points there. A lot of time was drained off the clock. And we have another 30-second timeout. We'll be back with 1:09 to go. Timeout comes to a close. 81-67 your score. Both teams are in the bonus now, but there's only $1.09 to play. Pacers with a commanding lead now as they try to close this one out to get their first win on the season and get to 500 on the year. Lander will bring it on up now. Pacers with a little bit more of an aggressive defense now. They're going to surrender the paint to keep away from the three-point try. Three-point try coming up anyway, and that one is no good. Rebound is corralled by Spivey. Another try coming up from Augusta. That's no good. Off of the hands of Oliver on the rebound try and out of play. So it remains Lander ball. They'll get a 20-second shot clock reset and have 50 seconds on the game clock. And that'll get us to another timeout. And instead of going to a break, we'll go ahead and give you some stats right now because, well, we don't want to keep going to a break every timeout we have. But looking at the Pacer offense, very effective offensive day for the Pacers as they have 5 players in double digits, with Castillo leading the way with 23 points, followed by Rowland with 14 points. And Rowland only a couple of assists away from a double-double, actually. He has 8 on the day. Also in scoring, it's DeMontez Oliver, 12 points, and Johnson with 11, and the other man with 10 is Pearson. So good offensive production all around for the Pacer offense. On the Lander side of things, 32 points for Patterson. He has just been on fire in these last 2 games, and scoring 32 points proves it. But the Pacers have shut down almost everybody else, with the next highest scorer in Berrien at 14 points. Pacers are letting Patterson have his way, but they're shutting down everybody else. It's very difficult for one man to beat an entire team. And that's then the Pacers' rationale as Patterson puts a shot up, no good. Augusta gets the rebound, puts another shot up, tipped at the basket, battle for the ball, and the ball finally goes in as Spivey had to battle a few people for it, but he gets 2 points nonetheless. Tyler Johnson with the ball now with the Pacers, winding the clock down, 30 seconds to play. And it looks like Pearson just put a toe out of bounds. It will be Lander basketball, as Lander will have 30 seconds on the shot clock, 31 on the game clock. Under the basket, Spivey looking to pass it on out to Augusta. Augusta driving into the paint, puts a shot up, bad angle. But they're going to call a blocking foul here on number 3, Jacoby Pearson. Or correction, it'll be on Castillo instead. I saw Pearson making a case to the official. I'm thinking he's the one that's getting called, but no, it's Pearson. First shot is good for Augusta. It's 81-70 now for Lander.
And something I'm really impressed with for the entire game for the Pacers is that when we have fouled, it's been at times where we can afford it. It hasn't been in any kind of close situation where those 2 points will matter. It's always when we've had a hefty lead, like 10 or more points. So I'm really impressed with the clean defense when we need it.
Lander steals the ball away, and putting the layup in is Sidney Robinson, and that will make it 81-73. But with 10 seconds left, the Pacers have the ball. And it looks like they're just going to try to let the clock wind on down. 3, 2, 1, and that will do it. The Pacers come away with the W here in the second game of the regular season as they even their record up at 1-1. Lander drops to 1-2 on the year. However, these are not conference games just yet. We are not starting conference play until after Christmas break and the new year. But once again, the leading scorer for the Pacers was Castillo with 23 points, and he was also the leading rebounder with 8 rebounds on the day. Gus Rowland, the top assist man, dishing out 8 assists. And in terms of other defensive play, Jacoby Pearson and Darius Bell had 3 steals on the day, but Tyler Johnson led the way with, just Pearson with 3 steals on the day. He led the team. In the blocking category, Castillo led with 3 blocks, with Tyler Johnson picking up 1 block as well. And the game summary, looking at the overall stats, USC Aiken 26 of 58 from the field for a 44.8 field goal percentage. Lander 25 of 60 from the field, so pretty even there with a 41.7 field goal percentage. 3-point line, though, that's where the difference was today. 14 of 28 USC Aiken was from behind the arc, while Lander was only 6 of 20. So Pacers were 50% from the 3-point line, and you're going to win a lot of games when you're shooting 50 from the 3.
Absolutely.
In the rebound game, well, the Pacers weren't able to out-rebound Lander, as Lander had 14 rebounds to 29, and had an 89.5 free throw percentage over Pacers 71.4, with Lander going 17 of 19 and the Pacers 15 of 21. But in the end, the final score is the only stat that matters, in USC Aiken with 81, Lander with 73. And we will have another game coming up, believe it or not, Tuesday. We don't know what time it's going to be. In fact, we really don't know too much about it. All we know is there's going to be a game on Tuesday. So be sure to keep an eye on social media and on PacerSports.com for any updates on that game. Allie, any closing remarks?
Not too much. I mean, I know going into this game, two of the things that we mentioned, we're having a strong defense in the paint. I think we executed that perfectly today. I mean, and whenever it wasn't the cleanest, it was when we could afford it. So that was, I mean, fouls are going to happen, so the timing was great. And then keeping our foot on the gas. I mean, again, what we mentioned, it got slower pace here and there, but it was when we could afford it. We knew when we needed to go harder versus when we could ease up when we were comfortable enough to just keep our lead. So I think we did a great job today. So.
A good all-around team effort, great production from everybody, a great way to come back after a tough opening loss. But again, the team looked like they were meshing, they were gelling together.
Right.
They were able to do it today.
And for the second game of the season, I mean, not into conference play, but this second game, that's hard. You know, that's impressive that they are gelling so quickly.
And against the defending conference tournament champion in Lander at that. So Pacers coming away with another big win. And once again, there will be another game on Tuesday. Be sure to keep an eye on all of our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and maybe even Snapchat. Never know, somebody might post something on there. Or just head on over to PacerSports.com, because our sports information office will have those updates for you when we get them. But until then, I am Marcus Johnson, and for Allie Bell, thank you so much for joining us, and have a good one.
Thank you. Bye, Pacer Nation.